Well, Huanchaco is the place where we used to go as a child. A place where we can relax, where mom and dad can enjoy, and in the afternoons walk along the beach and enjoy life. But also it's a place of lot of stories and lot of happiness. The energy that you receive from the beach and from the sand is, I cannot get that energy anywhere in the world but in Huanchaco.
The seaside town of Huanchaco in northern Peru is popular amongst tourists, both from overseas and from other parts of Peru itself. The long beach and Pacific waves make this spot a favourite with surfers, and the wealth of different visitors to the town has created many opportunities for cafe, bar and shop owners. Spending time in this place, it would be easy to imagine that all Peruvians can enjoy this sort of relaxing prosperity. However, mere minutes from the town, the landscape is starkly different. Otra Cosa Network set up the Huanchaco Education and Learning Programme, or HELP, in order to address specific social issues including gender equality and youth empowerment. Some of the people HELP supports live in the shantytown of Cerrito de la Virgen, a couple of kilometres up the hill from Huanchaco itself. Otra Cosa Network is just one of several NGOs working in this region. Juani Murphy, who runs the charity in conjunction with her husband Peter, grew up in neighbouring Trujillo and has spent much of her life in Huanchaco.
Cerrito de la Virgen means the hill of the Virgin, and it's literally that. When you walk to Cerrito, it takes you more or less half an hour to go all the way to that settlement, and then you climb the hill, and actually in the top of the hill, not right in the top, but there is like a little cave, and there is a Virgin painting. It was populated by squatters, landless people, who, because of the 1989 problem with El Niño Corriente, they didn't have any homes. They were squatting at the back of Huanchaco anyway. So they were migrants from the highlands originally, especially from the highlands of La Libertad. On my left side, you have the only water tank. And literally, this is where all the houses around this area, the ones that cannot afford what we call it as a tanque, they have to get the water from here. And we just seen the lorry passing by, which used to pass on the surface, selling the water. And the most frustrating and terrible things is that the population here, who are impoverished and probably many of them living with under the law, have to pay per water more than I pay per water, or more than any middle class family can pay per water per liter. Yeah.
Help Women is also run at a community centre in Huanchaco, known locally as El Comedor. Women come here to socialise, to learn new skills such as embroidery and jewellery making, and so that their children can be fed and looked after, whilst they work to support their families.
El papá de mis hijos se fue hace 3 años, más o menos. Con este año ya cumplí 3 años que él se fue de casa. Se fue de casa y resulta que me quedé con los 4 niños. Y trabajé para poder ayudar a la educación de mis hijos, pero resulta que no es suficiente porque son 4 niños y mantener fueron como unos familiares para mí, unas grandes familias. Como dice Dios, ¿no? Siempre dice, si tu madre y tu padre te abandonan, pero en esta oportunidad me dieron a ellos. Es que yo me sentía bastante mal. ¿Por qué? Porque también ve en que todos los sitios me cerraban las puertas. Me fui a sus padres de ellos, no me decían nada. Me fui a mi padre diciendo pues que capaz ellos como son mi padre, que me han traído al mundo, que me han... Pero me dijo que si es que yo me separaba de él, pues yo ya no soy familia de ellos. Principalmente me dolió mucho mi madre cuando fue el 23 de abril, es su cumpleaños de ella. Me fui a saludarlo y no me recibió de una u otra manera, porque no solamente lo económico es, ¿no? A veces unas palabras de aliento es bastante. A mí yo me sentía bastante derrotada. Yo ya me sentía pues ya fracasada como madre y todo lo demás. Los voluntarios me ayudaron psicológicamente, económicamente. Gracias a ellos, ahora mi niña está estudiando acá en el colegio José Olaya. Mi hijo todavía no está estudiando porque tiene 2 exámenes a cargo, 2 cursos a cargo. A él casi no lo puedo esforzar porque a él lo operaron del pulmón y malo que él era bien pegado al papá.
A key issue affecting many of the most vulnerable people in Peru is a direct result of a law introduced in the year 2000. This law requires all citizens to be registered with the government in order to be eligible for access to healthcare, social security and child support.
Well, we have more or less approximately 250 families that are here in this area. Many of the families in our sample didn't have identity cards. Many of our families, the women, weren't able to send the children to the schools. So some of them are in school, and the other ones is the population that we are looking after.
Just outside Huanchaco is a refuse site which serves much of Trujillo and the surrounding areas. It is here that some of the poorest and most socially disadvantaged people live.
It's a very difficult situation, the people that are living in the what we call a relleno sanitario. One thing that they are living there is these are the marginal of the marginal. Most of the places in that area are already been taken, so they already have land possession. And in the relleno sanitario is people who are landless, so at least there the officials are not going to come and throw them away. Mm-hmm. The other thing is also, I suppose, transport, because it's so far away for, the part of the habitated place that they want to work and live within that area, because they work 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. The more that you recycle, the more that you have earn a living. You spend 4 hours for recycling just 1 kilo, that only give you 40 cents for plastic, 70 cents for iron. So you basically have to work 2 or 3 days just to, all day long. In that circumstances, in the landfill, you are exposed to rats, to flies. Most of the hygiene problems is basically with problems, stomach problems, and also skin problems. And we saw the children, most of them had rashes and everything in their skins, and obviously a lot of infection. So the conditions of health is very, very poor. And if on top of that you added that they don't have access to health, the situation is even worse. I feel very impotent sometimes. I think the lack of awareness in the upper classes is terrible. The apathy and and the conform of the middle classes as well do not help the others. The corruption that exists and the lack of sensibility of people. I think it is a sin that in Peru, in this day, 2014, in such a rich country with wonderful landscapes, fantastic people, and these amazing natural resources that we have, people are living under line of the less than $1 a day.
The work that Otra Cosa Network and other organisations are doing in this area is vital to improving the lives of many families. Through projects which provide support in the form of skills building and empowerment, people are given the independence and confidence they need to seek better futures for their children and grandchildren.
I truly feel, as a Peruvian, as a woman, as a mother, that these little steps have helped today. I come every year and I can see that difference on them. But I am a very optimistic person and I'm very stubborn, and I think if I collaborate with my granito de arena, like we say in Spanish, with my little bit of sand, to change people's life, even if it's just 2 or 3, I am happy.